you will understand that, oh, you have just been jackpotted. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Olashubomi Ojo. If you're seeing my face for the first time, you're welcome to my channel, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. So as you're all aware that this is like a major school resumption season for almost everybody going back to school, be it old, young, and it's also a major season for relocation, for Jakba, as they would say in the place where I'm from, Nigeria. I am here to just film a video basically to notify you about some scams that you have to be aware of when you're relocating to a new location, especially if it's the United Kingdom. With the first one on my list being that you have won a jackpot. Yes, who doesn't like extra money? Who doesn't like more money? Who does not like money that they probably did not work for? I'm sure a lot of people like money that they didn't work for because they feel, oh, it's just an opportunity to get more money without working for it. And some people will say, oh, it's a miracle. Of course, it might be. And some people will say, oh, it's just something that let me just collect it, let me just take it, and then I move on with my life and acquire the things that I want to acquire. But I tell you, don't go and look for jackpots and at the end of the day they jackpot your bank accounts, okay? Because sometimes when you move to a new location, because you're not so conversant with the way things operate, you might just get a call saying, oh, you've just won a jackpot, based on the fact that you just moved into the location. And like a lot of us will probably feel back from our home countries that, oh, um when you move to the abroad, things are greener there, things are more rosy. I don't know, I'm not going to say anything about being greener or being rosier than where you've come from. I'm not going to touch that today. But you might feel, oh, jackpots, maybe that's how they give it to people, maybe that's how people get it and all that, and you just want to get into the whole jackpot movement thing, or you got extra money and you realize that they start asking you for your long card number and your CCV. That's the three numbers at the back of most debit and credit cards, and you end up giving it to them all because, oh, you want more money, not knowing that they are actually going to, when you get maybe a pot or a plastic or a basket and they cut underneath that is supposed to secure and they cut it. When that time they cut underneath your bank account, you will understand that, oh, you have just been jackpotted. The second thing on my list is the rental scam. If you move to a new location, definitely you want to have your own accommodation, or you might have to stay in an Airbnb for a while, or probably a hotel, or you might be lucky enough to get someone who would accommodate you, who would accommodate you pending the time you secure your own apartment. I was lucky enough to get someone to accommodate me for a couple of months before I got my own apartment. God bless the people who accommodated me. However, your first few months in your new location, there is a very high tendency that you'll be viewing so many apartments. Now, viewing so many apartments, you might then get a call from these rental scammers saying, oh, we have just decided to give you an apartment. We have selected you that you would be the one to get the accommodation of all the people who came to view the accommodation. And because you're in a hurry, they might start telling you, okay, so in order for you to secure the accommodation, you have to make a transfer of so percent, or in fact some of them will tell you to pay in full into a bank account, and that you should come get your key at so address tomorrow, or you should come get your key at your doorstep, at your supposed doorstep the next day. And you get there and you realize that no one is there waiting for you. The apartment has actually been leased out or something, and you then realize that, oh, you've actually been scammed. And in order to avoid that kind of thing, when anybody tells you, oh, there's an accommodation for you that you viewed, and we want you to come and get your key tomorrow, but you have to make payment today and just to secure it before they give it out to someone else. I would advise that you tell them, can I pay you cash? What I have is cash at the moment. Can I just come to this doorstep or to your office to give you cash, because cash is what I have at the moment? And when you get there, if it's true, fine. If it's a scam, you move on and say thank you to Jesus for saving you, that you did not lose your money to scammers. Okay. And the number 3 on my list is the tax lawsuit scam. Now, the tax lawsuit scam is actually not so rare, but it happens because when you move from your own home country and you go into another location, because of the fact that you are probably not so acquainted still with the laws and the rules of this new country, you tend to do things probably the wrong way, or you tend to do things the way you ought not to do them. Now, you will get some calls, you might get some calls if it's from the scammer, saying the fact that you crossed the border and moved into this country, the country, you were supposed to pay a particular moving fee. Now, paying this moving fee, they will then tell you something around the fact that you didn't pay the moving fee when you crossed the border. You have been fined and you're supposed to pay, let's just say maybe £100 as your fine. And then if you do not pay the £100 as your fine within 24 hours or within 2 hours, or at the moment when they are putting that call through to you, which they are asking you to make the payment online by calling out your bank card or your bank informations, that if you do not make that payment at that moment, the government would add up to your fine. So if you're supposed to pay £100 at that moment, the government will make you pay £500 at that moment. And who wants to go against the laws of a new country? Or who wants to go against the laws of where they reside? Nobody. You want to be careful. So because of that information, some people, you might probably give them your bank details, which is going to cost you a whole lot of loss. When they say that it have goals, oh, law. That may not be our situation. So just be very careful when you're moving into a new country. Definitely, if they require you to pay any kind of fund, you must have paid it at the point you were applying for the visa of the country. Not that when you cross the border, you are expected to pay a particular money. And if you're expected to pay a particular fund, if at all, it's the government that will send you a mail or a letter or, a proper kind of notification, not you getting a call, especially from just a random number. No, you won't get a call from just a random number requesting you to pay. So please be very careful. Now, the 4th point is for our techies, the folks who like to show off themselves with their new gadgets by buying used ones. Fine, some people might be lucky, you get used ones that, it's okay, no scam issues, nothing at all. But some people might be unlucky. What I mean is, let's assume you're coming from your home country and you're using just a smartphone, probably a brand that is not so known. There are some brands, I wouldn't want to mention names, there are some brands of phones that are not out there, and that this new location where you are, there are kind of phones and phone brands or laptop brands or earbuds and AirPod brands or smart watches that are the in thing in your new location, and you also want to feel along. However, you probably do not have the money to purchase a brand new one, or you do not have enough money to just splurge on phone, but then you still want to use what is the in thing, and you decided to opt for the used ones. Now, the scam that can come from buying a used phone especially is that some of these phones are usually not well formatted. Well formatted in the sense that Of course, when you buy a phone, there are some brands that if you do not register, own an account with them, you will not be able to use the phone. Find their good brands, nice brands, but they've been used by some people who intentionally or unintentionally did not take down their own accounts. And you going to buy that kind of phone, you just started using the phone, not minding if it was well formatted or not. And at the long run, you start getting calls like, hello, you just purchased so kind of phone, and then you are required to use so kind of subscription. That's the word, subscription, in order to use this kind of product. And because you want to keep up and continue to use that product, they will tell you you have to make a payment at this moment of about so, which might sound low, and that if you do not make that payment, you might be required to pay like extra, or you'll be barred from using the device, or you'll be fined or something of such. And at the long run, you end up calling out your details to them. And if you close your eyes like this and you open up your eyes again and you realize that your bank account has actually been sucked, like and that has happened to your bank account, that won't be nice. So the best way to prevent this kind of thing is, if you have to buy a used item or a used phone or whatever it is, ensure that it is well formatted, ensure that it is taken back to the factory settings, ensure that no account is running on that particular product on that phone, so you won't have to be paying for what you didn't use, or you won't have to be charged for what you did not use, or you won't be scammed. That's just the thing. Or better still, buy a brand new phone or buy a brand new product or gadget, if that's your number one goal when you relocate into your new location. Last point on here is the counterfeit bank calls. Yes, you heard me right. That happens everywhere in the world. In my own country, it happens. It also happens in the new countries you feel you're going to. So beware. Now, that might happen in the form of, okay, hello, I'm calling you from so bank. I am a representative, or probably I am your bank account manager. And then they tell you, you have to call out your long card number and then the CCV number at the back of your card to confirm your account, else your account will be blocked and barred. Now, who wants to hear that your account will be blocked and barred? Nobody. We always want to keep our account safe, because that's where we get our pays from. Of course, when you work, you get paid. That's where you get your pay from. That's where you get money to purchase stuff for yourself and your transportation fare or your fueling fare, anything. That's where you get money from most of the time. So definitely, who wants to hear that kind of place will be blocked or bad? Nobody, I'm very sure. So because of that, you might want to call out that number to them, and if you call out that number and they have all of your details, you are being scammed. So if that kind of thing occurs, just ensure you tell them, oh, I'm sorry, instead of me to call out my number, you have to play along as well. It's because you don't know, it might be a real call and it might also be a scam, but you have to be on your own A game. So what you can do in order to do your own due diligence is, when you get a call like that, just tell them, oh, I'm so sorry, my card is not with me, but can I take my card to the nearest your nearest branch tomorrow morning? Or can I take my card to the nearest branch? Once I get home, I'll pick it up and then I'll take it to the nearest branch, so this will be done. And you have saved yourself the mess of, oh, you've been scammed and all those kind of things. That's just a way to prevent being scammed from the counterfeit bank calls. Okay? And with all these points, I've come to the end of today's video. Please do not forget to like this video. Do not forget to make the comment section interactive, as other people can also learn from your own experiences that you probably have had. And if you've not had any experience, please do not forget to pass a comment on this video. And don't forget to share this video with your loved ones, as it might save them from being scammed or falling a victim of these scammers. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. Have a lovely time.